Hi, I'm Elena from FinancialDemix.com, where I help you reach your money goals. So today we're going to talk about creating a spending plan for your money. When I first started trying to get my money right, I was trying to create a budget, but I was struggling. And so what I ended up doing was, now I know, is creating a spending plan. And so I think it'll be helpful for a lot of you who stress about creating a budget to follow this process that helped me build my emergency fund. So the first thing that I would do is I would figure out how much money I will have coming in. So I did this process with every single paycheck. I was getting paid bi-weekly at the time. And so typically, like the Thursday before I get paid, I would look to see how much I was getting paid. Now, I kind of knew the amount because it was pretty consistent. I was working a full time job, I was getting paid 40 hours a week, but every now and then I would work overtime. And so I would be looking for the exact number that is going to hit my bank account. Now, if you get paid by direct deposit, most employers make it easy for you to go in a couple of days beforehand to see how much you're going to get paid. If your employer doesn't do that, what you can do is just estimate based on your previous checks how much you're going to get paid. I like to be conservative, so I would pick a lower number, not a higher number, to say, okay, I'm going to base my spending off of this number. So just for example, maybe it is something like $1,000. Then I'm going to base my spending off of $1,000. And if you get paid more, great. That's a bonus, and you can put that money towards something else you want to do for yourself. Now, if you don't get paid by direct deposit and you actually receive like a physical check, then make sure you keep track of the hours that you work. You don't want to be in a situation where you got underpaid by your employer, or even if you got overpaid. And I know overpaid sounds good, but they always come back for their money. So make sure you're tracking your hours, but I still will work with a general number. Like, okay, if I work this many hours, typically I bring home around this amount, and I probably would just round it down again just to be conservative. The second step is determining how much money will you have going out in the next 2 weeks. So for me, I did everything like I stated before by paycheck. So what bills did I have to pay in the next 2 weeks? And also, what things do I have coming up that I am going to need to pay for? Like, is there a birthday? Is my friend having a birthday dinner? Do I need to put money aside for that? Is there a gift that I need to pay for? Sometimes there's some expenses that are not expenses that you would have every single month. So is there something that I have to pay for in that case? So for example, like your car registration. Here where I live, we only pay every 2 years. So is your car registration coming up? Do you need to set aside money for that? You want to make sure that you are counting on every expense you plan on contributing towards in that 2 week period. Also, I will always say make sure that you include a little bit of fun money. Fun money is money that you get to spend, no questions asked. It's important for people to be able to do something for themselves and not just work to pay bills. So make sure you include just a little bit of that for yourself also. And another tip I want to give you about your expenses is anytime I was looking to write down my expenses or even just to pay my bills, if I had a larger bill such as rent or my car payment, I never, ever, 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 ever paid those bills out of one paycheck. I hated to be one of those people who like got paid rent, and then they was broke for 2 weeks. And I don't want to say necessarily broke, but maybe they didn't have a lot of money to spend for the next 2 weeks. So what I used to do is, on actually what I still do to this day, is I split those bills down the middle. So I would put half up for my rent on the first check, half up for my rent on the second check, and same for my car payment. And anything that was just larger in amount that made me cringe when I see it move out at one time, then I just split those payments in half. It just makes it easier, and you have more money to work with each paycheck that way. And so that was my process. Now, if you have questions about my process and you want me to explain it more in a future video, let me know in the comments below and I will do that for you. All right, so the third step, subtract the money you have coming in from the money you have going out. How much do you have left? If you have money left, great. If you don't, then you're going to need to make some adjustments in your spending plan. But if you have money left, what I typically would do is allocate money to any goals that I have. So for me, I would allocate money towards my emergency fund at the time. I also allocate money towards, paying off debt, or if you have a trip coming up, if you have some other larger goals, maybe you want to invest in stuff in the future. Like, I put any extra money towards that. And so, as I mentioned earlier, I was able to save a fully funded emergency fund because I put a certain amount each month of what I had left over towards that particular goal, because that was my initial goal before I did anything else. Okay. And the last step is monitor your spending and evaluate how you're doing. So, monitor your spending. You want to be intentional. That's why we created a spending plan, right? Are you sticking to your spending plan? Sometimes you don't. It happens to everyone. And if you don't, then you have to make adjustments for it. Sometimes you can't because it's an emergency situation and you just have to spend money on a more pressing issue, and that's fine. But it just helps you evaluate so that when you do it again, when you're getting paid again, then you'll know, like, okay, I had this situation come up, so maybe I should start putting money towards this. Or, maybe my car is getting older, so I need to put money aside for repairs. Or maybe I have a trip coming up, now committed, I want to put money aside for that. Whatever you have coming up, you want to just make sure that you create a plan for it, which is why you're going to evaluate how you did previously, and then do it all over again. So I hope that this was helpful for you. If it was, please thumbs up the video. If you have any questions about the process, then let me know in the comments below and I would love to clarify it for you. If you have any questions about anything else financial, let me know and I can do a video on it later on. And make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next week with a new video. Bye.